Good evening and welcome to the Townsend Housing Authority meeting of February 6th. And can I please have a roll call?
Natalie call.
Oh, excuse me, I'll call the meeting to order at 6:35. Roll call, please.
Natalie call.
Bess Coleman. Laura Schifrin.
Chaz Sexton Duranian.
Okay, thank you. And may we, the meeting is being taped this evening. And you'll forgive me, I've been running all day trying to help people that are displaced because of the fire here in town. And I want you to know that St. John's Church and a number of people are helping those people to find a place to live. So it's been a little hectic, to say the least. So the meeting is being recorded this evening, and would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And once again, thank you to all our veterans here as well as at home. We appreciate everything that you do, and if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here.
Yes. I also want to throw a big thank you to the first responders for all their work this week. That was a tough situation, and the way the town is coming together to help the people that have been displaced, I'm just, it makes me feel proud to be part of the town, to be part of the way in which we're moving forward with Townsend. I just wanted to say that.
And they're not just helping the people that have been displaced, they're also helping the owner of that building try to make it through, because normally under circumstances like this, everybody is worried about the people who are displaced naturally, but you don't think of the owner of the building and all that he has to go through with insurance now and trying to see what's going to happen next, and then also to help, he's concerned about where the people are going as well. So thanks for saying that. Next on the agenda is additions, deletions to the agenda, or not foreseen prior to 48 hours of this meeting. I'm going to actually just have it under my report because we won't take it up tonight, but we received accessory apartment guidelines from MRPC from another town, and it was just yesterday, so we haven't had a chance to go over it, but I'm going to make sure that all of you get copies of it to review, and we'll take it up at our next meeting, okay? And, okay, so the approval of the minutes of January 9th, we're going to move that to the next meeting, if that's all right with everyone. And just under my report, I guess I just gave it. Chaz, do you have anything?
State.
I'm telling you, it's really been a comical day.
Well,
So I appreciate.
Way to put it.
Yeah.
I guess I can report on a couple of things. Number one is, after talking with our town council on when we were at the planning board, the last planning board meeting, I am scheduling for myself to represent the housing authority. We have Veronica Kell representing the planning board, and we will be getting a representative from the zoning. We're going to meet and we're going to present not only what we'll talk about next week, or the next meeting that we have, but there are other towns that I have to work on the bylaw for the agenda for accessory apartments, so that all three boards can discuss where we need to really focus on, so that we can give all this information back to planning, so planning can then present it to the planning board to put together the bylaw. I actually finished the bylaw that we had for that.
Oh, okay, good.
Yep.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I'm going to, if it's okay with everyone, I know that we have the appointment of 7 p.m. for Attorney Costa, but in actuality, when he sent back the email, so I guess that is something unforeseen before the posting, he said between 6:30 and 7, because he has like 3 appointments tonight.
We can talk to him.
So why don't we do that?
Okay.
Do you want to get him on your phone? Are you good? Or
Yeah,
I've
no,
got
I
enough
can get-
battery if you don't.
No, I can get
I
them.
just see a bigger phone, I'm thinking you got a bigger microphone there or something. Maybe that works better than my smaller phone, I don't know.
We'll find out.
I told him I would just open it up and then call him.
Hi, this is Adam.
Hi, Adam. This is Lori at the Townsend Housing Authority.
Hi, Lori. How are you?
Good. I actually, when we did the posting, I had you posted for 7 p.m., but I know when you responded to me, it was between 6:30 and 7, so I
Yeah.
just did that under or unforeseen changes within the 48 hours, because I just noticed that on our agenda. Okay?
That's fine. The timing within the agenda is really of no consequence unless it's a public hearing. So you can always take something a bit earlier on the agenda. So that's
Okay,
fine.
thank you. And we've agreed, the board has agreed to do that. So, let me try to present to you, we talked about this when I met with you, that the board would like to just extract the land from the the parcel that's left, and get court's permission to have that transferred to the Board of Selectmen. So, and we also discussed, and the board will vote on tonight, once you let us know, that we would not be naming the project or the partner. This would just be step one of getting the property available to use.
Okay.
Okay? So what say you?
So that's fine. It's just a simpler version, a partial version of the warrant article that was advanced at the special town meeting in December.
Correct.
It's the latter part of that article that gave authorization, or asked the town meeting to give authorization to the Board of Selectmen to take the necessary action, which might include, probably will include, at a minimum, a declaratory judgment action filed in court to get court authorization to remove that portion of property, and that'll be it. We won't speak to the specifics of any potential development. We won't identify the entity that the property would be sold to, or that the development would be pursued by. We'll leave those specifics to a later date. For the time being, the objective will be to pursue those necessary legal avenues to prepare the property for future development for affordable housing.
Okay, so I will entertain a motion from the board to have town council draft the warrant article for annual town meeting per our discussion. Do I hear a motion to that?
I make a motion that we do the step one with the attorney to draft the warrant so we can do the property, to direct the Board of Selectmen to have
Well, so that it goes, what'll happen is that the attorney will draft the warrant article, basically with the terms that that we get court's permission to move forward, to get it to the selectmen, and then move forward at a later date with what the plans will be.
Well, that's my motion.
Okay. Make sure you write that down.
I am.
And is there a second?
second.
Okay. Any further discussion on that motion? We all understand that it's step one in the process of the use of this property for low to moderate affordable housing.
Correct. And can I ask a question since it's discussion? Hi, Adam, it's Chaz.
Hi, Chaz.
Would us doing this, you drafting a motion, then would it be advisable for us then to hold like a public hearing or a community info session or something like that as well?
So, there's obviously a political component to proposing any article for adoption at town meeting, and you have a better sense of the community sentiment than I do, although I was at the special town meeting and I heard some of the concerns that were raised. I think that, informing the public can go a long way, and really, by the public, I mean that small portion of the public that tends to be active in town politics and attend town meetings, because that's where you need your support. So how you go about doing that, you obviously have some limitations. You can't meet as a quorum outside of an open meeting in an effort to try and garner that support. But so long as you're cognizant of the open meeting law, you can generally do this in a number of different ways. You can have an item on your agenda, or you provide an advance notice to those you know that might be of interest to, that you post, that you advertise otherwise. You can hold a dedicated information session in an effort to get information out as to what it is you're hoping to do and the scope and extent of the warrant article. So there are lots of different ways to do it. None of it is required for a warrant article. There is no public hearing requirement. There is no requirement of an information session. But again, we're not talking so much about the legalities here. We're just talking about the practicalities that you need to get that majority support at town meeting.
Okay,
Right.
good. Thank you.
Okay, and let me just say to that, I think from our meeting, and Adam, from what you just stated, we have simplified this warrant article to basically just deal with step one. We're not ready to, quote-unquote, sell anything to the town as far as what we intend to do in the future. This is literally step one, so that we know that we have this step out of the way. It takes a few months for it to happen. So at this point in time, I think that we may address it a number of times. We're lucky that Hartley videos our meetings, and they are on YouTube. So it's already available to the public to hear what our next step is going to be. And all of our meetings are videoed, so when we have discussions about where we may go in the future, that would be the same thing. So I also, there's a expense to having a public hearing. We at this point have no budget, we have no staff. Hopefully that will change shortly. But so I think if we just keep adding it to our agenda and putting it out there, what we're doing at this point in time, a public hearing is probably not necessary. I also post to Facebook on Townsend what's going on, all of our agendas. And Chaz posts everything to the website as far as agendas and minutes. So we keep no secrets from anyone, and I think after the last meeting where that article failed, we saw where it did and why it did. And I believe that this warrant article makes that correction at this time.
Okay.
Are you good with that, Adam?
I'm okay with that for sure. This is also not only step one in a multi-part process relative to the property. This is also step one in a multi-part process to advancing this at town meeting. So if you take this vote in the affirmative and you instruct me to draft the warrant article, which is not too significant of an undertaking because we have
Right.
The language already that I previously had worked through and redrafted, that I'm just going to sort of segment and eliminate portions of it. The next step will be I will get you that draft so you can review it and you can approve it. You can take a further vote to that effect when you get it and you're comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll need to advance that to the selectmen to be added to the warrant. And then, of course, you'll need to prepare for town meeting. And generally, the proponent of an article will be the one to introduce it, and not only to read the text of it, but also to provide some background. And that's really where you can try and sell this to the public, to those individuals who haven't been proactive and attended your meetings or reviewed the meeting minutes or whatnot. You can, explain to them in introducing the article that they're not committing to any particular use, they're not committing to any particular developer or owner. They're simply allowing the process to be set in motion so that the town can be better prepared to do what it wishes to do with its property at the right time.
Okay.
Okay. So hearing all of that, is there any further discussion on the motion?
No.
Okay, hearing, seeing none. All those in favor of the motion to have the town council draft the article?
Aye.
Okay. It's a unanimous vote, Adam.
Okay, when is the housing authority meeting next?
Well, let me just look at the calendar. And we're here.
27th?
I'm going to be booking another one. So either the 20th or the 6th.
I'm good either.
Good either.
Okay. I would like to try here.
Okay.
I'll see what room I'll get, but February 20th. So we'll meet in
Okay,
2
that's-
weeks,
that's
Adam?
2 weeks from tonight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's fine. So I'll get something to you in advance of that meeting.
Okay. Alrighty. Thank you very much for joining us.
Of course. Thank you all.
All right, thank you, Adam.
Have a great night.
Have a nice night.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye. Okay, so we have our next meeting, and I'll just have that at 6:30, but I don't know what room we'll get, and so that'll be to be arranged. Okay. I really don't have anything further under mine, yours. All right, we do need to discuss the vacancy on the board. Anyone here know of anybody that...
I've actually had conversations with a couple of people. I also had sent an email to Kathy asking if there was any response to the...
Volunteer forms?
Yeah, and she hasn't gotten anything yet, and she said that she would notify both of us once she got something. She said she'd send it right over, so she's keeping an eye out for that. I had attended a VFW breakfast not too long ago, and I had talked to a couple of people in regards to the opening. They're going to put their feelers out as to looking for interest, and I haven't heard anything back yet. So,
Any thoughts, Ally?
Well, I've been talking to the commander to see whether he's available. He's just newly retired, so the feedback is there. We have a meeting this Wednesday, so this Tuesday, actually, at the VFW. So I'll bring it to his attention and see what his feel is. Right now, because of the fire, everybody's just in different directions.
Right, exactly.
I'm volunteering on Friday at the church as well, because Cynthia asked for volunteers. So when I see Paul the next time, or anybody that I know, I've expressed interest to have them come on board.
Okay, why don't we all try to work on that,
Okay.
and hopefully have a suggestion on the 20th at our next meeting,
okay.
so that'll be posted then.
Would you all be, we had, the last vacancy, we had 4 people that had applied for it, and I was thinking of sending an email out, but I didn't want to do it without checking with everybody.
That's a great idea.
I think that's a great idea.
That's a very good idea.
And if anybody, those people have already put a volunteer form in, so we can just get copies of what they had sent in before from Kathy. And, yeah, see if they respond to you and if they would come on the 20th. Because if they would, we could hopefully vote on the 20th and pass that forward to
The selectmen?
the selectmen.
Okay.
The only thing about that is, I was kind of hoping that we might have had somebody before. I think the last date to turn in papers is the 4th.
4th, yeah.
Probably the last day to take it out is the 1st.
Yes.
So if we can get somebody here that is appointed here by the Board of Selectmen if they're meeting on the 26th.
They just voted on that last night,
What?
that they are going to be,
On the 26th?
yeah, I think the 19th they had a problem, so they moved it to the 26th.
Oh, well, that may work out very nicely because then that person could take out papers, would be now on the board, could take out papers, and if appointed on this night is an incumbent
Oh, I see what you're saying.
on the
Okay.
ballot.
Okay.
So that would help, anyone coming in. So let's work towards that.
Okay.
Right, we meet here, go here, and then they have that week. So, very good.
But that still says, if anybody is interested that's watching this, and you are interested, on the town website, please fill out a volunteer form and send it in. Make sure you have your email address, and I'll definitely get in contact with you.
And I don't have it on the agenda, but while we're talking about the volunteer forms, I would like to remind everyone that we're still looking for a videographer, and Hartley is more than willing to show you how to do it. And I don't know if any high school students watch our meetings, so they're probably not hearing
That is
this, but
fun-packed.
maybe some parents out there could get their kids to do something like that, because it's a great thing to do, and it would be fun and learning experience at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually going to take this number 10. You share that as part of my report.
Okay.
The DLTA grant applications have been put out, and with Kim at our last meeting, we talked about sharing that with the master plan committee, and both of us, Kim and I, yesterday, reaffirmed that with Beth Faxon, who does do stuff for the planning board, but also has now land use under her title in her signature. So Kim and I have agreed that we want a joint survey and we want a joint public hearing.
Perfect.
Because why duplicate when we could both use, maybe not all of the same material, but certainly a portion thereof. I mean, the housing chapter is part of the master plan.
Correct.
So,
I think that's a great idea.
yeah. And we're
The more
excited about
collaboration,
that.
I think, the better, the more informed everybody is, because we're all in the same place, hearing the same information. I think that's a perfect idea.
Yeah. Okay, great. So, Natalie, was there any mail? Oh.
We gotta show her that.
You gotta show me that. It's okay, we'll go over it
I can
later.
go down and get it. Right
Yeah.
now. I'll go down and get it.
It's in the mail room, which is right next to Kathy's office.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you know where that is? Right in front of her office, to the right. The door is usually open. When you walk in, the light comes on.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
All right.
And our, the Townsend Housing Authority box is like, if you're looking at the boxes, it's the second row in, and I think it's about the second one up.
Okay.
And there's a white strip that says Townsend Housing Authority.
I'll give it away.
I can't be any more explicit except to take you there and show you.
I'll find it, no problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then I'll wait for Chaz on the next steps. And then, did you guys get a budget together?
Well, I was talking to Chaz about that earlier, and he had sent me this, and we couldn't get our dates together. I'm busy with school and busy with my internship. Oops, I mean, it's really, that's
Oh.
just a preliminary that I got from Chaz, and I haven't shown it to Betty Ann, but that's a preliminary I got from Chaz, and we're going to go over it to add, and we were speaking about it prior to, that way we can just go over it together.
Okay, so if you don't mind, I'll just go through the mail right now. This is considered trash, to be recycled,
Recycle.
so not trash. And then this is...
A bank statement for no
No,
bank
it's not even a
account that we
statement.
have.
No, this isn't even a statement. This will be either wanting us to open up something or giving us a credit card, which we have no authority to do. And that's what it is. So that's also recycle. And then on January 17th, to the Townsend Housing Authority from Kathleen. Oh, this was in regards to Carol Toole submitting her resignation in writing.
Okay.
And I believe we have already, on tape, accepted her resignation.
Correct.
So that would go in the file and not in the trash. Okay, so next we have next steps. I'll let you chime in after, but obviously the next step is the warrant. And then the next step after that will be the joint survey and forum to prepare for the 2020 housing plan. It's housing production plan is what they call it now. It used to be called affordable housing plan, but now it's the housing production plan.
Production plan, yeah.
Now, I just want to go over a little process with you, and hopefully Beth will be watching this, and those who know that we need staff. The last plan is in the computer here, okay? What has to be done with that plan, a lot of that plan will be used in the 220 plan, because history has to be there, new stats have to be brought in, because those stats are 5 years old.
Correct.
The staff person should be able to get the new stats from MRPC and state numbers, okay? And then we need, I think where we would come in meeting with Beth, who currently is the staff person for land use, we would all need to read the plan, okay? And we would come in and tell her where it's changed. So in other words, the plan states that Coppersmith Way has so many.
Yep.
Okay? Turnpike Village has so many. I think what we need to do is give the beginning date and where each project is in the plan.
Okay.
i.e., we lost 2 affordable units because they couldn't be sold affordably after a year of marketing. So
Fine.
then it went to a market.
Okay, on Coppersmith?
On
Yeah.
Coppersmith. What I don't know is the plan of Turnpike Village, all of which was affordable housing, but all of which we could lose in that 15-year time frame. When it's 15 years old, what if, and I don't know, but what if the owner of that property decides to make them condominiums and sell them?
If they are on the inventory, once you're affordable, you're always affordable.
So is it just the accessory apartment that's 15 years?
Yep.
Oh, well, thank you for putting my mind to rest.
Well, here's
Because I was like hyperventilating
no,
over that.
once for instance, not that this will happen and I'm not speculating here, but let's say Townsend Woods, for instance, let's say that a different management company took them over and they decided that they weren't going to do anything, or let's say they lost the buildings, or whatever happened. Anybody who takes over that particular facility has to take it over as affordable housing. If they can't find anybody for affordable housing that wants to take over that building just stands there and they can't do anything with it. It has to be affordable. It will always be affordable. It can't be anything else.
But in that case, it's just management.
Right.
It was just management.
Correct, but the 15-year in lieu of the paperwork that you guys are going to be getting to look at, I've already gone through that, and it specifically states the 15 is only for the accessory apartments.
Okay.
My thoughts on this, too, is I have had conversations with people from DHCD, and you had sent me some information, and I think our liaison from the Board of Selectmen had sent me some information in regards to contacts that they had with DHCD. I've contacted them, and they're willing to come in and talk to us in one of our meetings. So I'm thinking that when we are going to prepare for the housing plan and all that kind of stuff, of asking them if they can come to our meeting and to talk with us on the state side as to, you know, where we need to be planning, what we should be looking at, because there are some opportunities that are in the state that I don't really want to say because I'm still not really sure, but there are other opportunities that are available to us that have state funding. You know, and it may not be, you know, the way of the old for grant funding used to be that you could apply for a grant that was for, you know, a large amount of money and it would take the whole project. Nowadays, it's not. You have, you know, you might be able to write a grant for this and write another grant for another portion of it and another portion, and through all of those grants together would be able to fund the whole project. All right, so I'm trying to look outside of the box, and they're like very willing to come and share with us what you know, the possibilities that we do, and then we can decide as a board what we want to do from there. But the information is out there.
Okay. When do you think you would like to have that?
Well, I kind of was like, I don't want to put too many vegetables in the stock pot here. So I want to make sure that we have the ability to work through get the grant. We have to get the grant, get the warrant article written.
Yeah.
We at least get this.
This has to be by the beginning of March.
Right.
Because I think at the first meeting in March of MRPC is when they do the grants.
Correct. So I'm thinking April, like the second week in April.
We said, we didn't do March yet. Okay. We said the 20th. Okay, so I have to be here. How about the 13th of March?
I can ask them if they would be available.
Does that sound good? Wednesday the
As
13th?
long as it's on a Wednesday.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a
It is.
Wednesday. I'm only doing Wednesdays, okay? All right, 6:30 on March 13th.
Right.
I will try to book the rooms at the same time and see if that can get,
The
Simplified.
DHCD, just for the people that are viewing, Department of Housing and Community Development, I forget what their former name was, but this is
CDAC still around?
that's what they
'Cause
took the
that's
place
community,
of.
yeah.
So basically, any affordable housing really goes through this particular organization. There's a local initiative that we are able to look at for our accessory apartments. That's another segment of DHCD that I've been talking to for our other effort. And I think we just need to time it out, so we're talking to the right people at the right time instead of, you know, doing anything either premature or a day late and a dollar short.
Okay. That's great. Can we get a copy for everyone of this?
I've got it on my email.
I think it's on.
Is that part of my job description?
I just added it. Was that a quick comeback? Okay, so we're moving right along, and then if you would like to just draft like one of the minutes for January 9th.
Yes.
And then tonight, which will be short. And then as far as the January 9th goes, I believe that's on YouTube already. So it's a lot easier just to view it.
Okay, and I'll do that.
I used to cheat like that.
Okay, I'll review it then.
Okay?
Yes.
It's a lot easier.
Oh, yeah, the memory. Okay,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll get it to you by this weekend.
Oh, thanks.
Is that all right?
I usually don't
Yes.
delete
Okay.
your emails.
Thank you.
I keep them from...
Okay. So thank you guys for working on this. And so is this form
Thank
okay?
Jazz
What-
for doing it.
What form? Okay, all right. So we're asking for staff at 15,000, office supplies of 800, postage of 400, and this is really, of course, that would be dispersed through the year as far as staff goes. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, like the housing plan is going to be taking some time.
Correct.
Office supplies, if we do surveys and whatnot, postage. I don't know how, because this is our first budget, and we don't know how they administer it here in town, or how they divvy up the postage and supplies, and travel mileage is being put in because we did travel and paid for it ourselves. So this is obviously for the future. Previous is donated. Feasibility study for $35,000. Town council in our budget at $1,000. And again, we don't know how they do that.
Well, we have...
The administrative.
Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off. I was... My concern was where the monies come out of, because you have the land use, and then you have the zoning is one part, the planning is another. The way I'm understanding it, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but it appears to me that we are have been standalone for such a long time that we're not part of that land use. That's why we are having difficulties getting...
But we were.
Right, we were. I get it. But I'm just saying right now we're kind of like in a silo. So with supplying a budget, putting in for staff, that's going to kind of rejoin us with land use, I think, on a more formal basis. Some of the funding or some of the money that goes into land use is parsed out to each board
Right.
when necessary.
Right.
Okay? So the postage and all of that kind of stuff may come out of a main budget for the land use if we're going to be deemed part of that as well. The same thing with our supplies. All supplies come out of one account, and it just gets divvied up for everybody. So if we submit this the way it is, then they can make it the way that they want to do it. So,
Right. But just, we're letting them know we need this.
Exactly.
This is what we need.
Yep.
This is what Sue's been saying. Tell us what you need.
Yep. And this is our kind of tethering on to, we need to have administrative help, and we need all of these things, and they will be able to piece it, amongst all the other boards, so that we're now part of the whole, as opposed to being that desert island.
Right, right. And the reason why the food is in here is because we had food at the public hearing. Now,
Right, I was thinking of that, yeah.
so, not the public hearing, the public
The
forum.
forum,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but at the time that we had that, it was part of our DLTA.
Correct.
So, what happens is, we know that this kind of money was used at one time when we did the last project. Okay? So, now it's however they want to, where they want to take it from.
Correct.
But this is what we need.
Correct.
And
So do
we
we-
may end up with a grant for the feasibility study. We don't know
Absolutely.
that, but it's
Yep.
something that we need to have done, so we need to plan for it, cost-wise. So, because master plan comes out of, master plan doesn't have a budget. It comes out of the planning board.
Right.
And they're, obviously somewhere they're finding the money.
Which is coming out of the land use pool of money.
Yeah, right,
So
right.
I want to be part of that pool of money.
Right.
So-
And Kim has agreed, and I think we've all agreed, even sitting at the planning board meeting, that this should be a joint effort, so that we
So the way I broke
don't
it down,
duplicate.
yep, I agree. And the way I broke it down is that public forum, those two items are just for the public forum. So if I put 600 for public forum housing plan, it wouldn't say what they would be for, you know what I'm saying? So I broke them apart.
But you don't have any money there.
That's what I'm saying. That's like a heading in those two.
Oh, for those two.
Yeah, for those two.
Oh, the general supply.
Because I could have put 600 for
Oh, I
all of
see.
that.
I see, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, now it does, yeah.
As far as what format we need to do, as long as they understand what we're looking for, we could do it in an Excel sheet or whatever, but this would suffice.
Oh, yeah.
Because they then would take our information and put it into their own Excel spreadsheet and, work it from there. My thought, though, is our next step is we need to submit this, and then we need to ask for an appointment to go in front of the Board of Selectmen for the budget hearing. And they have 4, I think. They were talking about it last night in the meeting.
Okay, so, if everyone is okay with this, I think we only have to head it, 220 fiscal year budget. And, we've all looked at it and discussed it. Do I hear a motion to approve the draft proposal of the 220 fiscal year budget for the Townsend Housing Authority?
I motion to approve the 220 fiscal year budget.
Okay, so
I second
approve the
that.
draft. Okay. Any further discussion?
After we do this, would I be able to make changes on this and then I can just email it to Carolyn, can I?
Why not?
Yes.
That's all I would need to do, so I don't have a
Selectman's
problem
office.
doing it. Yep, I can do it.
Would you copy all of us so that we have what you
I
sent?
can.
You can blind copy. It doesn't require any discussion after tonight. We've already voted on
And I
it.
don't have to send it to any other...
I don't know who who's the finance chair?
Excuse me?
Finance chair?
I really don't know.
Why don't we CC Sue as our liaison?
Okay.
So our liaison has a copy of our budget. She's
Yeah.
supposed to have everything we're doing.
Okay.
Okay?
That makes sense.
Okay, is there anything else to come before? Board, do you have anyone have any questions, concerns? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn at 7:18.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.